I was nice enough to let the poor school beauty stay at my place. I didn't expect the first thing she said when she came in was to order me around. Lu Chen, you're gonna give Lin Yuxuan 60,000 a month. Otherwise, I won't accept your aid. At that moment, I knew Su Wanqing had also been reborn. In my previous life, I threw money and resources at her. I made her a female billionaire. But she acts like she was born a CEO. And she's threatening me from on high. I'll give you this one chance. Missed it. Begging me won't do any good. Fubo, stop his card. Buy her a comfortable pillow. Let him be a billionaire in his dreams. It's young Master Lu Chun. You'll regret this. What are you doing? I'm giving you another chance. Transfer 60,000 for living expenses to this account. Why should I give him living expenses? I'm not his dad. It's just 60,000, right? 30,000 can't even buy me a bag. See this? Top luxury limited edition. Lu Wanqing. Have you forgotten you were eating at the cafeteria last month? And secretly stuffing steamed buns in your bag? You're talking nonsense, am I? Then tell me, how much did you pay for that bag? Hermes Birkin, 300,000. My dad brought it back from France, 300,000. The hardware on this bag is plastic. The stitching is crooked. The same style online is 500 with free shipping. You don't understand anything. A bag for 30,000. Su Wanqing, are you dreaming? Before I aided you, you couldn't even afford a $10 box lunch. Young Master Lu, 30,000 isn't anything to you. But this is my and Su Wanqing's monthly living expenses. Since your family is so rich, help us out. Isn't that what you're supposed to do? Is there any need to humiliate us like this? Su Wanqing, Your Highness, even if we end up begging on the streets, you must never lower your dignity to beg her for me. You don't give him the money? Then I don't want your help either. Su Wanqing, if you have any guts, give me back the money you spent. Round it off. A total of 800,000. 800,000? I'll give you 8 million in 10 years. But Lu Chen, you listen to me. I'm only giving you this one chance. If you miss it, even if you beg me on your knees, it won't work. Lu Chen, what deep hatred do you have with him? Wasn't he well-behaved before? He used to lower his head whenever he saw someone. He also spoke softly. Now he's completely changed. Go to the hospital. What for? Jane's mom was scratched into the hospital by creditors. You go back and drive yourself. Here comes Su Wanqing and Lin Yuxuan, running straight over. Standing by the car. Lin Yuxuan just got in. Su Wanqing is standing outside. I sat in the back without saying anything. The driver immediately understood. He took out his phone and dialed the police. Hello, 911? 0. 2 lunatics suddenly broke into the car. They ruined the leather seats. And they scared my young master. I've already got them under control. Please send officers immediately. Do you know who I am? If you delay my business, can you take responsibility? Lu Chen, are you just going to watch? Tell your people to open the door. Su Wanqing, this car is my driver's. He's also one of my people. You barged in without even saying hello. And you're ordering my people, Lu Chen? I can accept your financial aid. But don't fantasize that I'll like you. You're probably not all there. I wouldn't like you even if I liked that one chick. Lu Chen, you're gay. Those two have issues. I suggest sending them straight to the hospital. You guys are going to the hospital? Yeah. Hurry up and take us to the hospital, okay? Get in the car then. I'll take you there, yeah? You'll regret this. The subscriber you have dialed is unavailable. Lu Chen, how dare you? Sign here for the $3,000 observation fee. $3,000? Lin Yuxuan stared blankly at the payment slip. Because Lin Yuxuan and Su Wanqing didn't have money to pay the medical fees. They were taken back to the police station by the police. Spill it. What did you guys do? We didn't do anything. They locked us inside. Wouldn't let us out. Didn't do anything? Then how did I hear you told the nurse you were the future richest man? And that you were going to invest in building a branch of a mental hospital? He also said he'd donate 100 million to the hospital. Where are you going to get 100 million from? I'll have it in the future. You can't even come up with the $3,000 observation fee now. Future? Su Wanqing, what's gotten into you? You used to be such a good student. How did you become like this? I'll give you one more chance. Go back to class and behave yourself. Don't cause any more trouble. If you do it again, no one can protect you. Lu Chen, you just wait. The Maybach's brake pads emitted a slight squeal, stopped steadily in front of the city hospital's emergency room entrance. The car door opened. The smell of disinfectant mixed with the coolness of the night wind. It went straight up my nose. I got out of the car. I casually buttoned the button on my suit jacket. The emergency room lobby was noisy. The family members were wailing. The sound of the rolling wheels of the pushcarts. The ticking sound of the instruments mixed into a boiling pot. But the most jarring sound was a burst of arrogant cursing. No money, no money. Your mother won't be coming out of this emergency room today. I looked in the direction of the voice. Next to the bench outside the emergency room door, surrounded by 4 or 5 burly men with tattoos, the bald one in the lead was raising his foot to kick a skinny young man's chest. The young man was wearing a faded plaid shirt. He was desperately blocking the door of the emergency room. That kick was very heavy. The man groaned. His back slammed heavily against the iron door, making a muffled sound. But he didn't move. He held tightly onto the door frame with both hands. Blood was seeping out of his fingernails. That was Jian Lu. In my previous life, he only took 3 years to help me sweep across the Southeast Asian market, technical fungza. I started walking over there. Leather shoes stepped on the shoddy marble floor tiles. The sound was heavy. Fubo followed behind me with 4 bodyguards in black suits. Silently following behind me, the bald man was still cursing. He raised the baseball bat in his hand, preparing to smash it. Stop it. Jian Li's eyes were bloodshot, like a wolf cub protecting its cubs. The baseball bat fell with the sound of the wind. It didn't hit a large hand wearing tactical gloves. It firmly clamped onto the bald man's wrist. "This is my bodyguard. Captain Ague, what are you doing? Which gang are you guys from? You dare to meddle in my business?" The bald man's face turned red. He struggled twice. He didn't break free. Ague didn't say anything, just a tug on the wrist, a crisp cracking sound of a dislocated bone. You could hear it loud and clear in the noisy hallway. The bald guy screamed. The baseball bat clattered to the ground. I walked up to the bench without looking. The bald guy pulled out a sanitizing wipe from his pocket. He wiped his hands. The surroundings went silent in an instant. The remaining tattooed thugs. They looked at Ague and the others' builds, looking at each other. Nobody dared to step forward. "Who are you?" The bald guy clutched his twisted wrist. He gritted his teeth. "Debts must be repaid, it's only right. Jian Li's mom owed us 300,000. 300,000? I almost burst out laughing. 300,000 could force a future tech billionaire to the brink? I tilted my head. Uncle Fu stepped forward to calculate the bill for him. Uncle Fu pulled out a document from his briefcase. The business had no fluctuations whatsoever. The principal of the loan sharking was 100,000. The interest violated regulations. According to our country's laws, the part exceeding 4 times the LPR is not protected. You just committed a personal attack against Mr. Jian Lu, causing soft tissue contusions, constituting intentional harm. In addition, you're causing trouble in the hospital, seriously affecting public order. Uncle Fu pushed up his gold-rimmed glasses. He handed over a business card. "I'm the chief legal counsel of the Lu Group. For subsequent claims and criminal lawsuits, my team of lawyers will coordinate with you. The starting point is a 3-year prison sentence." The bald guy was stunned. He looked at the gold lettering on the business card, and then looked at the bodyguard like a steel tower beside him. The arrogant flame was like it was splashed with liquid nitrogen. It extinguished in an instant. A layer of shiny cold sweat oozed from his forehead. "Lose." He swallowed his saliva. His voice was trembling. "In this city, nobody dares not to know Luz. How come 3 years isn't enough?" I looked at him in a very calm tone. No, there's a misunderstanding, young Master Lu. It's all a misunderstanding." The bald guy's legs went weak, and he almost knelt down. "The principal, we don't want it. The medical fees, we'll cover them. We'll scram. We'll get the hell out of here. Clean up the floor first." I pointed at the tiles he'd dirted with his footprints. Without a word, the bald guy took off his jacket, knelt on the floor and started cleaning. He cleaned it cleaner than the nurses do. In less than half a minute, the thugs had crawled and scrambled out of sight at the end of the hallway. I turned to look at Jian Lu. He slid down the iron door and sat on the ground, panting heavily. His clothes were torn. His cheekbones were swollen. His eyes were fixed on me. With heavy caution, "Lu Chun." Even though I, a third-year student, announced my name, Jian Lu froze for a moment, as if searching for the name in his mind. "Why are you helping me?" His voice was raspy, like it had been sanded down. "Investment." I didn't beat around the bush with him. "Give him the card. Toss it over." "A card. The password is 6 zeros. There's 1 million in it. 300,000 for the principal. The rest is for your aunt's surgery, and to move her to a VIP ward. Jian Lu stared at the black card on the marble tiles. His pupils constricted, but he didn't take it. I have nothing. He glared at me. What do you want? Sit down. I brought my line of sight down to his level. I'm interested in what's in your head. I heard you're working on a decentralized data scraping algorithm. Jan was taken aback. His eyes changed instantly. That algorithm was something he wrote on his own. It wasn't even finished. There was absolutely no way anyone else knew about it. How did you know? How did you find out? I offered him 1 million to buy the exclusive rights to your algorithm. Plus, a 5-year contract after graduation, deal or no deal. Jan's eyes turned red. He glanced at the blinding red light of the emergency room, then looked at the card on the ground. The veins on the back of his hand were pulsing. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. He grabbed the card violently. His hands were shaking badly. From now on, Master Lu, my life is yours. I stood up and brushed off the dust on my pants. I don't need a life. I just need a rabid dog that can make me money. Uncle Fu will arrange for the best brain surgeon from the hospital to come over. Yes, sir. Half an hour later, Jan's mother was pushed into a VIP intensive care unit. Jan washed his face and changed into a clean patient gown that someone had left at the nurse's station. He sat on the sofa outside the ward. He pulled out an old Dell laptop from that worn-out black backpack. The screen edges were still taped with clear tape. Master Lu, this is the publication structure of the algorithm. Take a look. He tapped the keyboard a few times. The screen lit up with dense lines of code, cascaded down like a waterfall. I only glanced at the interface. The project code in the upper left corner, Project Horizon. In that moment, the surrounding air froze for a second. I stared at the screen. My fingers tapped lightly on the leather armrest of the sofa. Tap, tap, tap. This code is so familiar. In my previous life, Su Wanqing hadn't even graduated from college. She got a mysterious venture capital investment and became a new rising star in the tech world. She announced to the public that it was the core technology she and her team had developed day and night, and the name of that project was Horizon. So that's how it is. I see. So, in the last life, he sucked the blood out of the person who picked up the joy. That's how he climbed to be the richest man, stepping on other people's corpses. Now, this golden goose is mine early. Just then, my phone in my pocket vibrated. I took it out and glanced at the screen. Caller ID. The Vice President Lee of the school board's office. Vice President Lee's anxious voice came through the receiver. Sorry to bother you, Mr. Lu. That student, Su Wanqing, you funded before. She just came to my office with a guy and caused a scene. I changed my posture, leaning against the back of the sofa. What's the ruckus about? He said he has a business secret worth 1 billion. He wants the school to use the school's fund to invest in him. And he also said, when he becomes the richest man, he'll kick you out of the school board. I couldn't help but laugh. The window at the end of the hall wasn't closed. The cold night wind blew in, following the back of my neck. $1 billion business secret? Isn't it just what's in this broken computer? All right. I looked at the code flashing on the screen. My voice was very soft. Tell him the school is willing to invest. Mr. Lu, you not only want to invest, you also want to do it with fanfare. But there's a condition. I squinted. Make him sign a personal unlimited joint and several liability gambling agreement. The money, I'll pay personally. Su Wanqing, since you want to play the game of the chosen one, then I'll create a situation for you that's beyond redemption. I hung up the phone. The metal edge of the phone was a bit rough. I looked up at Jian on the sofa. He was staring at me. His fingers were still hovering over the keyboard. What's going on the road? I threw the phone on the coffee table. It made a dull thud. Someone wants to steal your stuff. Jian's face changed. He clenched his hand tightly. Don't worry. I leaned back. The leather couch made a slight creaking sound. How long until your core algorithm is exposed? Jian Lu froze for a second, but quickly understood. 3 hours. Just remove the underlying data retrieval module. The rest is just a useless shell that won't run. Looks like a chance encounter with big data and it'll crash. I nod. Make a dummy shell. Then wait for him to come to you. Time jump to the next day afternoon. The lights weren't on in the VIP observation room on the 2nd floor of Jiang University's Entrepreneurship Incubator Center. The air conditioning was on full blast. The vents were blowing hard, bringing a chill. I sat behind the one-way glass. holding a glass of iced coffee. The water droplets on the cup of Americano slid down, dampening my fingertips. The other end was the conference room. Su Wanqing was sitting at the head of the conference table. She changed her clothes today. A Chanel soft jacket, paired with her fake Hermes Birkin bag. Chin held high, like a proud swan. It's just that the shoulder line of that coat clearly doesn't fit. Most likely borrowed or rented. Sitting across from him is Jian Lu. Jian Lu, I don't have time to bullshit with you. Su Wanqing's voice came from the loudspeaker, sharp, with an undisguised sense of charity. Only I can see the value of your project. 1 million. Buy out your core code. Jian Lu lowered his head as I taught him, his fingers picking at the seams of his pants. 1 million is too little. His voice was raspy. This is the result of my 6 months of hard work. Su Wanqing let out a cold laugh. He slammed a contract on the table. The sound came through the microphone, a bit harsh. What you wrote is crap and can't be monetized right now. Only I am willing to be the sucker. Jian Lu, your mom's waiting at the hospital for money. Help me. Su Wanqing leaned over. Her eyes were like a venomous snake's, gleaming. Besides me, who else can just cough up 1 million for you right now? Take this money to save your mom. If you don't sign, you'll be burying her. Hearing that, I raised an eyebrow. Last life, he used this same tactic. Taking advantage of someone's desperation, he swiped Jian Li's hard work. Then, he transformed into a tech world beauty genius. Disgusting. Jian Li's shoulders trembled. This time, he wasn't faking it. I saw the veins on his forehead bulging. But he held back. He clenched his molars. He picked up the pen and signed the contract. Jian Li's voice was ice-cold. Su Wanqing smiled with satisfaction. He took out a bank card from that fake Hermes bag and tossed it on the table. At least 6 zeros. This project has nothing to do with you anymore. Jian Lu picked up the card. He didn't stay a second longer. He turned and left the meeting room. Only Su Wanqing and Lin Yuxuan were left in the room. Wanqing, are we really gonna spend 1 million to buy this pile of incomprehensible code? Shut up, what do you know? This thing will be worth 10 billion in the future. 100 billion. He carefully clutched the USB drive Jian Lu left in his hand. His eyes were burning with intensity, like he already held the entire world in his grasp. The observation room door opened. The heat from the hallway rushed in, and was immediately suppressed by the air conditioning. Ague walked in, handed me a document. The edge of the paper was a little sharp. It scraped across my fingertips. The texture was rough. The young master found out. Su Wanqing. This million was mortgaged against his parents' old, run-down, small house back home. She took out a loan from Haegu in the west side of town. 5 per mil daily interest, a month-long loan term. I flipped open the document, took a look at the borrower's signature. Su Wanqing's name was written with such force that it went through the paper. I casually asked, "It's from Ague, the small loan company that our Lu Corporation has a stake in, right?" I lowered my voice. I laughed. The ice cubes clinked in the glass, making a crisp sound. So that's how it is. Using the money from my company to buy the defunct stock code that I had already bought out. Planning to use it to scam the school foundation where I'm a board member. Huh? I put down my coffee cup to meet our future richest person. I pushed open the door to the observation room, walked through the corridor. I ran into Su Wanqing and Lin Yuxuan, who had just come out of the elevator, right at the elevator entrance. The corridor's fluorescent lights made my eyes swim. Su Wanqing stopped when he saw me. He instinctively straightened his back, clutched the USB drive in his hand tightly. "Lucien." He looked at me. His eyes no longer held the previous desperation from the hospital. Instead, there was a condescending pity, as if he was already at the top of the pyramid, and I was just an ant. "What are you doing here?" "Oh, I forgot you're the son of a board member." He raised his chin. "It's a pity. The capital you're so proud of will soon be trampled under my feet." I stopped walking. My leather shoes made a light sound on the tiles. I looked at him without saying anything. "See this?" He held up the USB drive in his hand. "I already have the key to a new era. Vice Principal Lee has already agreed. As long as I pass tomorrow's technical test, the school foundation will give me a 5 million angel investment. Once I get this money, I can go public in the US within 6 months of starting the company." Then he took a step closer. The smell of cheap perfume hit my nose. It was a bit pungent. "Your measly fortune, then, isn't worth a damn in my eyes. I'll exchange that 800,000 for coins and throw them in your face." Lin Yuxuan chimed in. "You hear that? Lu Chun Wanqing is about to be a tech mogul. If you beg us now, maybe Wanqing will let you have some scraps. I felt the urge to laugh bubbling up in my throat. I raised my hand and looked at my watch. Is that right? My voice was calm. I only see the key in your hand is rusty. What do you mean? Su Wanqing frowned. I don't mean anything. I put my hands back in my pockets. I took a step forward. The corridor was narrow. This half step directly squeezed his personal space. He instinctively stepped back. The high heels twisted. He almost fell. The zipper on your fake bag is open. Pointed at his bag. I walked past him towards the elevator. Tomorrow at 3 in the afternoon, the board of directors' technical evaluation. I'll be the judge personally. Su Wanqing, don't disappoint me. Ding. The elevator door opened. I walked in and turned around. My gaze passed through the closing elevator door. I saw Su Wanqing frantically looking down to zip her bag. That bag containing the loan shark contract and the garbage code. Just like his absurd rebirth dream. As long as a gentle pull, it will completely fall apart. 3 in the afternoon. Jiang University Administration Building, first conference room. The central air conditioning's airflow happened to be directed at my neck. It was a little cold. I leaned back in the spacious, leather swivel chair at the head of the table. I was toying with a heavy Mont Blanc fountain pen in my hand. The core members of the board of directors sat on both sides of the conference table. And the head of the Department of Computer Science. The solid wood door was pushed open. High heels clicked on the wooden floor, making a crisp sound. Su Wanqing walked in. She's all done up today. That ill-fitting Chanel jacket is still on her shoulders. Clutching that Hermes bag tightly in her hand. Following Lin Yuxuan, who's helping her with the computer stuff. Seeing me sitting at the head of the table, he pauses. His eyes instinctively widen. But I don't look at him. I unscrew the water bottle in front of me. Take a sip. Wet my parched throat. Let's begin. Ms. Su. Vice Principal Li taps the table. Everyone's time is valuable. Where's that world-changing algorithm you were talking about? Su Wanqing snaps back to reality. She takes a deep breath, walks to the projector, plugs in the USB drive. Distinguished board members, Principal Li. Her voice is high-pitched, filled with barely suppressed excitement. What I want to show is the core foundation of the next 10 years of the internet finance field. The Horizon Data Retrieval System screen lights up. A few lines of scrolling code start rolling on the black background with white text interface. Su Wanqing begins to recite her grand blueprint nonstop. What subverting tradition? What 100 billion level sinking market? What NASDAQ bell-ringing words? One after another. Lin Yuxuan's face is flushed beside her, as if he's already seeing himself driving a supercar. I casually toss the pen onto the table, making a dull thud. Su Wanqing. I interrupt her. The business plan is well written. But we're not here to listen to a stand-up comedy act. I turn to look at Director Zhang, the head of the computer science department. Has the school server been switched over? Director Zhang pushes up his thick glasses and nods. Ready to connect at any time. I look at Su Wanqing and point to the projector screen. Run a 300,000 level concurrent stress test. Since it's the cornerstone of a billion-dollar market, it should be able to handle this small scale, right? Su Wanqing is stunned. Last time around, he was just a spoiled boss. He didn't get the low-level code stuff at all. 300,000. Isn't that a bit much? We're just doing a test run for publishing right now. His tongue got tied up. He didn't dare to run. I leaned back, crossed my arms. So, what are you going to give me to make me invest 5 million and then just run? Su Wanqing gritted her teeth, stubborn as hell. In his shallow understanding, what Jian Lu made money last time. It'll work this time too. Director Zhang hit enter a few times on his computer. The projector's cooling fan suddenly started making a loud whirring noise. Then, the code on the big screen started scrolling super fast. 1 second, 2 seconds. A low beep. An extremely harsh system error sound shattered the silence of the conference room. The black screen with white text instantly turned into a blinding blue screen. A huge red pop-up appeared in the middle. Fatal error. Andra. In logic module missing system crash. Fatal error. Low-level logic module missing. System crash. The conference room was dead silent. Only the projector fan's useless humming remained. The color drained from Su Wanqing's face instantly. Like a blank sheet of paper. This is impossible. He rushed to the keyboard. His fingers frantically typed all over the place, making a clicking and clacking noise. Is there something wrong with your server? Yeah, it's definitely the server. Bang. Director Zhang slammed his hand on the table and stood up, pointing at the screen. Absurd. This is the code you said was worth $1 billion? It's just an empty shell that's gutted the low-level search module. It's not even as good as a college graduation project. Crashes the moment you run the data. Vice Principal Lee's face was ashen. Turned to look at me. Sweat was beading on his forehead. Young Master Lu, we were also deceived by him. I didn't pay her any mind. I stood up and smoothed out the lapels of my suit. My leather shoes crunched on the wooden floor. I walked step by step in front of Su Wanqing. He was trembling all over. His eyes were glued to that blue screen. His lips were quivering. He couldn't speak. I leaned down. My voice was very low. Only the three of us could hear. Su the Rich. Your dream of ringing the bell is shattered. Lin Yuxuan suddenly rushed over. He stood in front of Su Wanqing. Lu Chen, is this your doing? Jian Lu deliberately used a fake thing to scam Wanqing. I didn't even look at him. Uncle Fu walked forward from the corner of the conference room. Call the police. I said lightly. Report that the university student Su Wanqing is suspected of using false technical achievements. She attempted to defraud the school's accumulation fund of 5 million yuan. The amount is huge. How many years will she get? Let the legal department figure it out. Su Wanqing's knees went weak. Thud. She fell to the ground. No, Lu Chen. You can't call the police. I didn't commit fraud. I was also scammed. She finally panicked. Tears ran the makeup on her face. I didn't look at her again. I turned and walked toward the conference room door. Young Master Lu. Su Wanqing screamed from behind. The conference room door closed behind me, cutting off her voice inside. 10 minutes later, I got into the Maybach parked under the administration building. The air conditioning in the car was just right. There was a faint scent of cedarwood aroma in the air. Young Master, the debt collectors have arrived. Uncle Fu sat in the passenger seat, looking at the rearview mirror. I lowered half the car window. My gaze went over the flower bed and landed at the main entrance of the administration building. Su Wanqing and Lin Yuxuan got kicked out like a stray dog by security. The documents in Su Wanqing's hand were scattered all over the ground. That Chanel jacket got dusty too. Before they could even stand, 3 men in black jackets, big and burly, went straight up to them, blocking them on the steps. It's the loan sharks from the west side, Miss Su. That code you put up as collateral, we just had experts look at it. It's a bunch of garbage. The leader chewed gum. Are you kidding us? Putting up a fake for collateral? Took $1 million, didn't you? I'll give you that $1 million back right away. Su Wanqing screamed in terror, frantically rummaging through her purse for her bank card. Pay back $1 million? The man sneered. Spit on the ground. See the contract, it's fraud. Trigger the acceleration clause. Double the penalty. 3 million with interest. Pay up, right now. 3 million. That number hit him like a ton of bricks. Just smashed Su Wanqing's spine. I don't have money to give you extra time. I haven't had any money for days. The man grabbed the bag on her shoulder. No money. You're carrying a $300,000 Hermes bag? Use this to pay your debt. He pulled hard. Su Wanqing desperately protected the bag, refusing to let go. This is mine. Piercingly loud ripping sound echoed in the empty square. The handle of that Hermes bag was directly torn off. The cheap faux leather ripped open. Even a few pieces of scrap iron used for weight fell out. The gold plastic buckle flew into the air. It fell onto the concrete floor and broke in half. The air suddenly went silent. The leading man looked at the half-torn, faded imitation leather in his hand. Furious. Damn, it's a fake. The kind that's 3 for $100. The students passing by stopped in their tracks, pointing and whispering. Some people even took out their phones and started recording. Isn't that Su Wanqing, the beauty from the management department? What a joke. Carrying a fake bag and pretending to be a socialite all the time. I heard she even scammed the school with a fake project. Those whispers pricked Su Wanqing's ears like needles. She covered her face and squatted on the ground, breaking down in tears. Lin Yuxuan stood beside her. His face was ashen. Hey kid, are you her boyfriend? The man, there to collect debt, grabbed Lin Yuxuan's collar. She owes 3 million. You pay it back for her. Lin Yuxuan trembled all over. The next second, she made a move that no one expected. She pushed the man away with force, turned around suddenly, toward Su Wanqing, who was squatting on the ground, and gave her a hard slap. Smack! The sound was clear and loud. Su Wanqing was knocked to the ground. Blood instantly seeped from the corner of her mouth. She covered her face in disbelief, looking at the moonlight of her past life. Lin Yuxuan. You liar, you bitch. Lin Yuxuan pointed at her nose, cursing. His face and neck were red with anger. I knew something was wrong with you a long time ago. You taking out those loan sharks has nothing to do with me. Don't involve me. She pushed through the crowd and fled in panic like a scaredy cat. I was sitting in the car watching that farce on the steps, tapping my fingertips lightly on the leather seat. The dog-eat-dog show is pretty good, but 3 million in debt is not enough. It's just the beginning. I want him to see with his own eyes the Rome he dreamed of. Who exactly built it? Uncle Fu drove back to the company. I rolled up the car window. The car smoothly glided out of the campus. In the rearview mirror, Su Wanqing was despairingly slumped on the ground, surrounded by phone cameras pointing at her. Early tomorrow morning. He'll definitely be desperate to find the only person in this city who can come up with 3 million. That's me. And there'll be a special gift waiting for him in the lobby of my company. 9 in the morning. The top floor president of the Lu Group headquarters, playing the coffee machine, let out a hiss. The rich aroma of espresso filled the air. I picked up the mug, standing in front of the floor-to-ceiling window, overlooking Jiangxing's morning rush hour. The traffic flowed slowly like ants crawling beneath. Boss, the underlying framework has been reconstructed. It ran a million level. Concurrency is very smooth. Jane's voice came from behind. I turned around. Jane was wearing a well-tailored dark high-end suit. His hair was meticulously styled. If it weren't for the red bloodshot eyes, couldn't tell at all that he was getting beat up at the emergency room door yesterday. The packaging of capital is always immediate. I took a sip of coffee. A slight bitterness rose on my tongue. What about the bait code? As you instructed, a tracking Trojan horse is buried inside. As long as someone tries to forcibly repair the underlying logic Trojan horse, it will lock the device's physical hard drive. Jane pushed his newly fitted gold-rimmed glasses. His tone was cold and harsh. Very good. The internal phone on the desk suddenly rang. Pressed the speakerphone. President Liu, there's a Ms. Su at the front desk. Said she's your fiancée. She's downstairs, making a fuss about wanting to see you. The security guards can't stop her. She's sitting on the turnstile in the lobby crying. The voice of the girl at the front desk was trembling a little. Fiancé? I put the coffee cup on the table. The porcelain bumped against the glass. The desk made a crisp sound. He really dares to gild the lily. Tell security to withdraw. I pulled out a tissue and wiped my hands. Let him come in. Wait in the reception area on the first floor. I'll go down there myself. It's Mr. Liu. The elevator descended rapidly. The feeling of weightlessness made my stomach clench slightly. Ding. The first floor, the lobby, has arrived. The air conditioning was cranked up. I just walked out and immediately, I saw Su Wanqing sitting on the leather sofa. She looked worse than a drowned rat today. Her hair was a mess, plastered to her cheeks. Her eyeshadow had smeared into 2 black circles. One of the heels on her high heels was broken. She limped toward me. Lu Chun, you finally agreed to see me. She reached out to grab my suit sleeve. I took a half step back. A Gue appeared from the side. He blocked her like a wall between her and me. Su Wanqing bumped into a Gue's shoulder. She groaned and bounced back. She fell onto the clean, mirror-like marble floor. Lu Chun, save me. She didn't care about the pain. She scrambled and grabbed a Gue's pant leg. The loan sharks came to my dorm last night. They wanted to pour paint on me. The counselor said they'd kick me out. Can you lend me 3 million, no 5 million? As long as you help me through this difficult time. I'll pay you back double later. I looked at her. My gaze fell on her dirty hands. The cleaning staff had just mopped the floor. She got it dirty. Pay me back double? My voice was very flat. What are you going to pay me back with, your useless crashing code? Su Wanqing stiffened. She suddenly raised her head. In her bloodshot eyes, there was still a trace of that ridiculous sense of superiority. It was an accident. Jiang University's servers are too terrible. You have no idea the future value of that algorithm. She gritted her teeth. The veins in her neck were bulging. I have countless opportunities in mind. As long as I have the capital, I'll be the richest guy in Jiangxing, Lu Chun, sooner or later. Helping me now is like investing in a business empire. I almost burst out laughing at him. Even at this point, still dreaming that she's the chosen one. Just then, the click-clack of high heels on the wooden floor came from the hallway, mixed with the sound of leather shoes. Mr. Liu, the tech department's morning meeting materials are ready. Jane Liu walked out from the other side of the elevator lobby, holding a tablet. Behind her were several department heads carrying files. Su Wanqing, hearing the sound, she turned her head instinctively. The moment their eyes met, he was stunned. He stared fixedly at Jane Liu, who was wearing a haute couture suit and a branded watch. Her mouth hung open for a long time, without uttering a word. Jane Liu? She rubbed her eyes, as if she were hallucinating. What are you doing here? What are you doing dressed like that? Su Wanqing suddenly scrambled up from the ground, pointing her finger at Jane Li's nose. Did you use all the million to buy clothes? Your mom's not getting treatment anymore? Jane Liu stopped. She didn't even give her a proper look. Su Wanqing walked directly in front of me, and slightly lowered her head. Mr. Liu, the new generation of Tianyuan algorithm has passed internal million-level stress tests. Here's the test report. She handed me the tablet. I took it and flipped through Tianyuan casually. Su Wanqing screamed like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. What, Tianyuan? That's my horizon. Jane Liu, how dare you sell my project to lose? You signed a buyout contract. She lunged to snatch the tablet from my hands. 2 security guards were quick to react, and lifted her in the air, one on each side. Let me go. That's mine. I'm gonna be the richest guy in the future. You security guards dare to touch me? He kicked his legs frantically. The remaining high heel flew out. It smashed into the glass door. I hand the tablet to Ague. I walk up to him. The AC is blowing on me, but I feel the air in the lobby is a little stuffy. Your stuff. I look at his distorted face. Jian Liu tells him what he bought with that million. Jian Liu pushes up his glasses. The lenses, reflecting the cold light from above. Ms. Su, what you bought was just a search shell I wrote for fun when I wasn't paying attention. It's not even a semi-finished product, not the real core at the bottom. I already exclusively licensed it to the Liu Group last week. As for that million, Jian Liu pauses. His tone has no fluctuations. I didn't even activate the card. I threw it directly into the hospital shredder in front of the debt collectors. Su Wanqing is like she's been struck by lightning. She stops struggling instantly. No, it's impossible. She muttered to herself. Her face was ashen. Last life it was clearly this. It was clearly by relying on this. Her voice was very soft, but I heard it loud and clear. Last life, I was rubbing the cufflink of my suit. This idiot really is reborn. It's just a pity her brain didn't get reborn too. The billions of resources I poured into him in my last life. He took all of it as his own ability. Su Wanqing woke up from her dream. I looked down at her. I forgot to tell you. The real controller of that small loan company in the west of the city is me. Su Wanqing suddenly raised her head. Her pupils shrank to the size of pinpricks. That old, rundown apartment you mortgaged, because you are suspected of fraud, triggered the compulsory enforcement clause. At 8 o'clock this morning, the court officials have already gone to put up the seal. I watched his expression crumble inch by inch. I delivered the final blow. Oh right, that car outside with the flashing lights. You see it? I pointed outside the glass curtain wall. 2 uniformed cops were getting out of the car. They were walking towards the doors of the Liu Group. Vice Principal Li filed a report yesterday, alleging fraud of school funds. The amount is particularly huge. You can dream your rich guy dreams in jail. The doors were pushed open. A wave of heat rushed into the lobby. The cold handcuffs glinted in the morning sun. They went straight for Su Wanqing. The metal handcuffs closed. They made a crisp click. The air conditioning in the lobby seemed to get even colder. It made people's hair stand on end. Officer, I'm innocent. I was really set up. Su Wanqing was flanked by 2 female officers on either side. She struggled to retreat. Her formerly cheap Chanel coat was torn out of shape. It slid to the ground. No one paid attention to her screaming. The police, in accordance with regulations, showed her the detention warrant. They dragged her towards the door. As she passed me, she gripped the stainless steel door frame of the revolving glass door tightly. Her nails scratched the metal surface, making a shrill sound. Lu Chen, you set me up. This was all a trap you set. Her eyes were bloodshot, like a gambler who had lost everything. She stared at me fiercely. You don't understand. The stuff in my head is priceless. If you don't invest in me, plenty of others will. When I get out, I'll make you pay 1,000, 10,000 times over for the humiliation I've suffered today. I looked at her ferocious face. I didn't even have the desire to argue. I raised my hand. I waved gently with the back of my hand, like he's trying to get rid of some nasty smell in the air. Gotta disinfect the place. Gonna have to rip up and replace this marble tile today. It's because of the screams of Miss Su Wanqing, got shoved into a police car. The sirens wailing. The red and blue flashing lights cut through the morning sun, fading away. I turned and walked towards the private elevator. Mr. Lu's assistant, Jian Lu, followed me. If the underlying algorithm goes well, we can hold a press conference early next month to grab a share of the Southeast Asian market. Speed things up. I watched the elevator numbers change. The floor numbers. Erase the name horizon. Not a single character left. It's too dirty, you understand? 6 p.m. I finished up the paperwork. Rubbed my tired eyebrows. Took the elevator straight down to the underground parking garage. The garage was quiet. Just the low hum of the exhaust fans. The air smelled faintly of gasoline and antifreeze. Fu Bo had already opened the back door of the Maybach. I was about to bend down and get in. A shadow suddenly jumped out from behind a support column. Mr. Lu, wait. Ague reacted quickly. Kicked the shadow in the side of the knee. A muffled thud. The person screamed and fell onto the concrete floor. Rolled over twice. Rolled right to my feet. In the dim light of the garage. I saw the face. It was Lin Yuxuan. He was wearing a crumpled white shirt. His hair was stuck to his forehead with sweat. On his face, there was still the red mark from what Su Wanqing did at school yesterday. What's going on? Ague pinned his shoulders. Knee pressed against his back. Mr. Lu, it's me. Lin Yuxuan. I'm here to surrender. Lin Yuxuan grimaced in pain. Clutched desperately at the patch of ground in front of my shoulder. Trying to look up. That crazy woman, Su Wanqing, got arrested. This has nothing to do with me. I swear, I was trying to talk him out of it the whole time. He was the one who insisted on starting a business and scamming people. I looked down at this face so utterly pathetic. In his previous life, he was the same pitiful jerk. He sweet-talked Su Wanqing into using my money to throw it away on him. And he kept saying she was the only one he truly loved. He said I was just a walking ATM, reeking of money. You came to see me? Just to say this? My voice turned cold. No. Lin Yuxuan swallowed hard. His Adam's apple bobbed. Young Master Lu used to give 60,000 a month in aid. Do you think that can continue? I'm not picky. 30,000? Even 10,000 will do. As long as you give me money, I'll be your dog from now on. Who do you want me to bite? I'll bite them. He was desperately trying to show his loyalty. Without any bottom line. Without any dignity. I couldn't help myself. I chuckled softly. The sound echoed in the empty underground parking garage. It seemed particularly jarring. Be your dog? I took a half step back, creating some distance. Are you worthy? Lin Yuxuan's expression froze. I turned my head and looked at Fu Bofiai. Bochengxi, did you bring the contract for that debt? Yes, young master. Fu Bo took a copy from his briefcase. He bent down and gently tossed it near Lin Yuxuan's face. The paper made a scratching sound against the concrete floor. Mr. Lin, take a look at the signature. Fu Bo pushed up his wire-rimmed glasses. His tone was, as always, flat. Lin Yuxuan struggled to angle his glasses. Using the light, he made out the high-interest loan agreement. The borrower, Su Wanqing. And in the section for emergency contacts, if a guarantor is required, clearly signed with 3 big characters. Lin Yuxuan also had a bright red fingerprint on it. No, this isn't real. Lin Yuxuan's face instantly turned ashen, like a dead fish just pulled out of the water. This is just an emergency contact, right? Wanqing said it was just a formality at the time. Told me to just sign it casually. How could it be a guarantor's joint and several guarantee? I repeated it. These words felt incredibly pleasing to the ear, meaning Su Wanqing is now in. His house was seized. Not a single cent less of this money. All falls on you. Penalty doubled. A total of 3 million. I bent over slightly. My line of sight level with him. You want 60,000 bucks a month for pocket money? Sounds good. Pay off this 3 million high-interest loan. I'll slowly reward you. Lin Yuxuan's pupils trembled violently. He suddenly realized he'd fallen into an abyss he could never crawl out of. Luchin, you can't do this. This is a loan shark scheme. I'm going to sue you. He started struggling like crazy. Ague put some force into it. Directly pressed his face back onto the rough concrete. On the ground, the rough ground scraped his cheekbones. A few streaks of blood seeped out. Sue me? I stood up straight, straightened my suit cuffs. Go ask the court whether the joint and several guarantee in black and white is protected by law. As for whether the lending company is compliant and legal, the interest is right on the edge of the red line. Who can you even sue? I turned and got into the car. Agwe threw him out. And by the way, call Black Brother in the West City. Tell them, can the guarantor repay the debt and can parents repay the debt of their children? The car door slammed shut. The Maybach smoothly exited the underground garage. In the rearview mirror, Lin Yuxuan's desperate screams were torn apart by the roar of the exhaust fan, completely swallowed up in the darkness. 3 days later, in the visiting room of the Jiang City Detention Center, there was only a cold, hard metal chair. The overhead incandescent light emitted a slight electrical hum. The air was filled with the pungent smell of disinfectant. I looked through the thick bulletproof glass, watching the metal door across from me being pushed open. Su Wanqing was brought out by the prison guards. Seeing me sitting opposite her, she was clearly stunned. Then a kind of extremely morbid ecstasy erupted in her eyes. She threw herself at the glass and grabbed the phone. Lu Chen, I knew you'd come. I knew you couldn't bear to leave me. Her chapped lips trembled with excitement. The sound through the receiver, with heavy breathing, entered my ears. Quickly pay the bail. When I get out, as long as you give me another round of startup capital, I'll do whatever you say. Don't you like me? I won't put on airs anymore. I'll be your girlfriend. I didn't speak. I just leaned back in the chair, quietly watching her disgusting, condescending attitude. She thinks she's a priceless treasure waiting to be sold. Just lower the price a little. I picked up the phone. My fingertip caressed the plastic casing. Su Wanqing, the food in the detention center is probably terrible. Huh? My voice was very casual. She froze for a moment. Her eyes were a little flustered. What do you mean? Did you bring money or not? I brought it. I picked up a document with my other hand and pressed it against the bulletproof glass. This is Jian Fang's indictment. I looked into her eyes and read it out word by word. Su Wanqing is suspected of contract fraud, attempted crime. Given her bad attitude toward admitting guilt and a complete lack of remorse, the prosecution recommends a sentence of 3 years. Impossible. He's like a cat whose tail got stepped on, frantically slapping against the glass. I didn't commit fraud. I really have the skills. I'm reborn. I was the richest person in my last life. That set of code is mine. Sit down quietly. The guard behind him sternly shouted. Su Wanqing was forced back into the chair, her chest heaving violently, tears and snot all over her face. The reborn me chuckled softly into the phone. Yeah, if you weren't reborn, how would you know the name Horizon? How would you know Jian Lu is a tech genius of the future? Su Wanqing froze suddenly. He stared at me in disbelief, his eyes bulging as if they were about to pop out of his sockets. How do you know? I straightened up, leaning forward, close to the glass. You think you became the richest woman in your last life? How? Was it your unique business acumen, or your outstanding management skills? It was because I used billions of dollars, used the entire Lu family's network, and forced it out for you. I lowered my voice, every word like a poisoned knife, stabbing into his ears. Every data disk you crashed, I paid people to fix. Every big shot you offended, I went to grovel and smooth things over with drinks. Even that so-called genius code of yours, I bought it from Jian Yu, put your name on it, and released it, Su Wanqing. Without me, you're not even as good as a stray dog. Through the glass, I clearly saw Su Wanqing's pupils dilate. She opened her mouth and gasped for air. He made meaningless gurgling sounds. At that moment, the memory of his proud, divinely appointed richest man collapsed completely. You, he finally understood. Let go of the phone. Put it back on the base. You stay in there for 3 years. When you get out, those 3 million in high-interest loans with interest compounding, and Lin Yuxuan, that vampire will be waiting for you in the outside world. I stood up and adjusted my collar, turned and walked toward the door. Behind me came Su Wanqing's desperate, heart-wrenching screams, followed by the chaotic footsteps of the prison guards controlling him. I knew his hell had just begun, and my business empire was just officially beginning to unfold. The rain outside was falling heavily. Raindrops hit the bulletproof glass of the top-floor office, making a dense and muffled white noise. I leaned back in the genuine leather office chair. playing with a pure silver Zippo lighter in my hand. The metal casing was cold. The edges rested against my fingertips. Click. A flame shot up. A deep blue light, reflected on the glass window, flickering in my eyes. I didn't smoke, just watched the flame dance, then closed the lid. The office door was pushed open. Cold air seeped in through the crack in the door. The goosebumps rose on Machine's arms. Ague was walking in front. Jianlu was following behind. Both of their faces didn't look too good. Young master, Ague walked to the desk and lowered his head slightly. The accounts for the west side of the city are balanced. My hand holding the lighter paused. I looked up at him. Lin Yuxuan is also short 3 million. This is absolutely impossible. His parents, who farm back home, can't even raise that much money by selling shoes. It wasn't his money. Ague placed a remittance receipt on the desk. Half an hour ago, someone directly transferred 3 million into Black Brothers' public account. Fu Yen paid the bill for Lin Yuxuan. I picked up the receipt. The paper was a little damp, with the faint bitterness of printer ink. Payer's account name, Shinsher Capital. I tossed the receipt back on the table. So it was him, Shinichen, the man who stood beside Su Wanqing after she used me to reach the top in the previous life. The man who was always against me, and finally colluded with Su Wanqing. The young master of the business world, who annihilated the Lu family in the capital market, Mr. Lu. Jane Lu pushed up his slipping glasses. His voice was a little strained. Not only that, I just detected a sudden burst of information online about a large number of black notices about our Tianyuan algorithm. He handed over the tablet. The screen was emitting a dazzling white light. The title was bold and in bold. Extremely sensational. Capital is bloodthirsty. The young master of the Lu group is forcing and seizing, forcing the poor. The genius girl occupies the core technology. Dirty transactions behind the famous schools. The school beauty goes to jail. Her boyfriend was almost forced to death by usury. The truth is appalling. I quickly swiped the screen. The pictures are extremely clear. One is a photo of Su Wanqing being escorted into a police car in handcuffs. The other is a screenshot of Lin Yuxuan in the underground garage last night, covered in blood, desperately kneeling. It was cut very cleverly, completely hiding the figure of Ague, only leaving Lin Yuxuan's weak and helpless back and the Maybach. The cold car head. The water army is in action. The hot search jumped to the top 3 within 10 minutes. Jane Lu swallowed. His Adam's apple bobbed. And Shinsher Capital has issued a public announcement. They will hold a press conference at the Intercontinental Hotel tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., saying they want to expose the biggest capital scandal in the tech circle. To speak up for the victims. I picked up the lighter again after listening. Click, the flame ignited again. I smiled at the blue flame. Shinichen, last life you were used to getting things handed to you. Why are you so impatient this time? Su Wanqing went in, and you fished out Lin Yuxuan, that stray dog, to use as a pawn. You want to completely ruin my reputation in the media, and also take a shot at Tianyuan's launch. Mr. Lu's public relations department is already suppressing the trending topics, but the Shin family is keeping the funding tight, so we can't suppress it. Jian Lu saw a fine layer of sweat on my forehead. Tomorrow's press conference. If Lin Yuxuan really turns around and bites us in public, we'll be at a loss for words. Big companies fear these kinds of moral stains the most. Once we're labeled as stealing the hard work of a poor student, government cooperation and overseas venture capital will immediately stop. No need to nurture it. I released the lighter, and the flame went out. Remove all public relations budget. Let the heat rise, the higher the better. Jian Lu was stunned, but he set up the stage. If we don't let him finish his performance, wouldn't that be too rude? I stood up and walked to the floor-to-ceiling window, looking at the city blurred by the rain, the neon lights. Also, check where Lin Yuxuan is being housed. Don't touch him, just keep an eye on him. Understood, Jian Lu. I turned my head. The technical department will be working all night tonight. Package those dozen or so sets of garbage code that we ran out of in the lab into a file that looks very profound, and leave a backdoor. Jian Li's eyes lit up, and he instantly understood what I meant. You mean? I didn't answer, just glanced at my watch. Tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, Intercontinental Hotel. We'll go give young Master Shin a generous gift. The banquet hall was eerily quiet.